Welcome everyone to Keep It Classy Tech. This is going to be a hookup guide for Sony TVs. Alright, a little bit different kind of a video. So here's the 77-inch Sony A80J. And what I'm going to show will apply to all of the Sony TVs that have the two HDMI 2.1 ports. So I have a whole bunch of stuff here to hook up to the TV and some accessories to use. So I thought I would just make a pretty quick guide on how you can hook up all kinds of stuff to the TV with its better than average but still somewhat limited connectivity. Everything's kind of a mess right now because I'm hooking it all up, but let's come back here. And don't know how well this is going to show. Alright, there. Alright, so it's on a Sanus mount. These are the USB 2 ports. The USB 3 port is down here. We have one HDMI, this is HDMI 1. Then you have a headphone jack, and then the S Center speaker, which is for Sony's new soundbar line. And you have a remote IR in. Basically down here you have your HDMI 2, 3, and 4. 3 is your eARC port. Then 4 is your other HDMI 2.1. 3 and 4 are both HDMI 2.1. Then you have a remote port, a optical audio, and a LAN port. And then there's a ATSC 3.0 tuner port at the far end. Alright, so first, a couple accessories here. This is the new HDMI 2.1 2-port switch. So I can run the Xbox and the PS5 into this, and then send that to HDMI 4. We have a Cable Matters USB 3 to gigabit Ethernet port. So for the Bravia Core app, that's what you need in order to get high enough connection speed if you're not very close to a wireless router. And even then, I would trust a wired connection over wireless. So this USB switch is for my Medialite Mark II bias lighting kit. When I was peeling it off of the G1, it snapped, which is fairly common because of how strong the adhesive they use is on it. And I emailed them about it, offering to buy a new one just without the accessories and the power cable and everything that comes with it. But they're excellent support, and just they're sending me a new one. No problem. So then I'm going to show, if you have something that uses component cables, so the Sega Genesis in the US did not use component cables. However, this port right here on the back can be modded through a SCART adapter. So this cable is a SCART cable. Then this will adapt it to component. So I can, if you have a receiver that has component in and can send that component signal out over HDMI, then you can hook up like old classic systems or any other kind of component device and have them output over HDMI. So I can hook all that up. So my 4K Blu-ray player, my NVIDIA Shield, here's the Fire Cube. I'm going to get that set up here soon. They're all going into the receiver. And then the Xbox and PS5 is going to HDMI 4. The receiver goes to HDMI 3. Alright, then for HDMI 1, this is my Raspberry Pi pattern generator. So I'll plug that into HDMI 1. Alright, so I have some various HDMI cables. This is an HDMI 2.0B for everything out of the receiver. This is all that's needed. So this is only 1 meter or 3 feet. So everything around here can have a short connection to make wire management easier. Then I have Zeskit Lite 5 feet HDMI 2.1 or ultra high speed cables. And then here's another one of the short ones. And then I have a long 10-foot ultra high speed or HDMI 2.1 to go to my PC because it's a little bit further away. And then you can see back here, you can get these cable covers in either white, black, or this wood look. And once all the cables are ran, I have one over here for the power cable. You can see it'll help conceal cables so you don't have a bunch of cables running under the TV. There's the switch, which is going into the receiver because it doesn't need to be HDMI 2.1. However, because I have an extra HDMI port on the TV, I could just run it straight to the TV and then use eARC for audio. Alright, for the HDMI 2.1 switch, you have a button here that changes your source, and then you have a micro USB cable for power, and it goes to this. So I have back here a USB dual port power adapter down there, so I can plug it into that. Alright, so let's have a look at these cables. These Eskit cables always feel very nice. Come in a well packed, just good presentation for a cable. You also get nice Velcro cable ties with them. So this one again is a HDMI 2.0B. So this is going to be from the receiver. Or to the receiver rather, and it has a like silver or chrome color here, whereas the HDMI 2.1 cables, they will say ultra high speed on them, whereas the non HDMI 2.1s will just say high speed or high speed with internet. And then these are like rubbery plastic on the back, whereas the HDMI 2.1s have this like metal cover all the way around it. And then these ones are the same aside from the length. So that one ends there. This one has that much extra. So here is the switch, and then I'm going to run this, the Eskit Lite, because it's smaller, so that my channel for the wires going to the TV doesn't get too bulky and full. I think most people are going to prefer these cables, as long as 5 feet will work, because that is quite a bit thinner. Let's see if you can see this. And they're green. So just take that off, take off the Velcro. I'm getting quite a collection of Velcro ties now. And just plug this into the out port going to the display. And this is all set up ready to go. And then I just got to run it up through here and into the TV. Alright, so now here I have a USB drive with mostly patterns for calibration and setting up the TV. And then I have for the BIOS lighting kit plugged in there. And then I have my Ethernet going to this, which is going to the USB 3 port, which again is the one down here. Alright, everything's hooked up and moved around a little bit. The Genesis I didn't hook up yet because I'm going to get a component switcher so that I can add a Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 with component as well. And then the Fire Cube I haven't opened yet. I'm waiting to do a review on that when I have time. But other than that, everything's set up. I ran the Nintendo Switch to HDMI 2. The receiver, again, is going to HDMI 3 for the eARC. And then the Xbox and PlayStation going into the Switch, and then to the TV and HDMI 4. And then let's see how the internet is with that USB to gigabit Ethernet. Yeah, that's exactly where it should be with my internet. Alright, and then I'm going to have the Raspberry Pi pattern generator going to HDMI 1 when I need it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it unplugged so there's not a wire dangling. Everything else is ran through that channel right there. Let's see if you can get in here and see this. Alright, everything's done. Alright, now see I'm on my Blu-ray player, and if I hit volume on the remote, you can see how it brings up the volume for the receiver over there. If I hit input, it shows HDMI 3 more than once because it shows each device. It shows the Xbox. It's only going to show Xbox on that because that's the first device on the Switch, the HDMI 2.1 Switch. HDMI 2 is the Nintendo Switch, but I haven't turned it on yet, so I can rename it or if it doesn't automatically pick it up. And then it will show HDMI 3 as like a base level for eARC, ARC. Then I have my USB drive, and then I've pinned Bravia Core and YouTube because Bravia Core is only available through the TV, and then YouTube on the NVIDIA Shield is not HDR, so I would use that through the TV, or if I get the Fire Cube going, I might switch to that. And then I have the speed test thing, and if you want to edit, you can remove stuff here. So the speed test is unchecked. Let's do that just to trigger it. And then the offers was the other thing. Where's the Sony offers? Oh, there it is. Let's check and uncheck, see if it gets rid of them. No. There we go. So just hide your recent apps. And then I gotta re-add YouTube, close, there we go. So all my stuff is now there, and if I click on Shield, it'll automatically switch. You can see the green light of the Shield glowing, and using the TV remote, I can control it. TV switches into Dolby Vision. You press the display button down here to see what it's running in. And everything's being controlled with this one remote. The volume adjusts just as quickly as it would with the receiver remote, which is something the LG didn't do. It would go very slow. I don't know why. If you do have a CEC issue and it disconnects, which I did have happen to me, what you want to do is go to Settings, All Settings, and then go down. I think it's under System, and go to Initial Setup, and just run the initial setup again. That brought everything back, made everything work again. While we're here, you can go to ambient mode so that when the TV is sitting for however long, you go to art gallery and then it'll just start playing through art. And then I'm hiding weather and time and personal photo data so that way when it's going through the pictures for the art, there's no white text or anything like that on the screen. So that way it works as a good screensaver for preventing burn-in. About TV is here. If you go to About and then go to Status, it will show how many hours on the TV, but it will reset if you change the RS-232C controls or do a reset or anything like that. So mine was reset already, and it also shows IP address and stuff, so I'm going to skip that. And then your power and energy, make sure that's off. And then under display and sound, you can adjust the screen if you're using the built-in apps or something that's 1080p instead of 4K. Audio output, that's where you use audio system, turn off all that stuff, set eARC to auto, keep it on auto 1 for digital audio out, and then put pass-through mode at auto. Expert panel settings, I have pixel shift off so that way the screen isn't moving around and it shows the full resolution. And then there's your panel refresh or your pixel refresher. Is the external inputs, and then signal format. So the Nintendo Switch is 1080p, so I'm leaving that at standard. HDMI 1 I'm going to be using for pattern generator, so I put that to enhanced. These can do Dolby Vision even though they don't say it. The only reason 3 and 4 has a Dolby Vision setting is because you have to pick if you want Dolby Vision or do you want 4K 120. So since 3 is my receiver, I have that set to Dolby Vision. And then 4 is the game consoles. I have set to enhanced for 4K 120. Alright, I almost forgot to show you. If I go to Xbox, you can see it's at 4K 120. Everything's checked except Dolby Vision. And then if I go over to the HDMI 2.1 switch and push the button, it's not. It switches right over to the PlayStation 5. Alright, that's it. Hope you like this. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.